Hi, in this video we're going to talk about Sakura, a Japanese folk song that is in George Vance's Progressive Repertoire book number 2. If you have that book, feel free to follow along, but this video series will be intended to learn this piece without the music. So if that is something that you are up to as a challenge, go for it, and if not, get yourself your hands on a copy of Progressive Repertoire for the Double Bass Volume 2 by George Vance. You will not need this book to learn this piece, but if you would like to follow along, again, feel free. So I just played the piece Sakura, which means cherry blossoms, and I was doing my best to demonstrate every aspect that George specifically asks for in this arrangement of the piece for bass. This is a really great piece to start working on pivoting in third position to get these notes. So the first thing we're going to do today is practice the pivots that are required for this piece. In the book, there is a preparation exercise, which goes simply like this. First finger is on a D here on the G string. Press it down. This D, and then E. And then we're going to replace our fourth finger with second finger, shift to E, and then back to D. This is a pivot. Again, that means that we should not be moving our thumb. It's locked right here in the neck block where it needs to be for this. So those are the notes again. I'll call them out one more time just to make sure we have them. It's D, E, D, E, D, E, F, E, D. So that pivot is all we need to play all the notes in this piece. They are all within there. So there's another preparatory exercise that we can learn that'll be really great for doing other pieces that involves going up to the harmonic G and then back down. So again, the same pivot as before, but it'll move a little faster. We'll go D, E, F, harmonic G with third finger. So that was 1, 2, 4, 3, 3, 4, 2, 1. If you're not playing along, it'd be really helpful to either be writing this down or fingering along on your bass. Or you could always do I don't have my bass here, I'm going to finger along with my arm while imagining the positions. Any of those are great. So once again, this exercise is D, second finger E, fourth finger F, pivot up to 3 on the G, pivot to F, second finger, pivot to D. And if you can play all of those notes in there without moving your thumb, even better, because you're covering the space of D to G, which is a perfect fourth, without moving your thumb. It's a very large pivot space that we should really get comfortable with early on. So back to Sakura. All of the notes that we need are in this hand position. So we've heard those, D, D, E. And then the little 1, 2, 4, 2, 1. All of those separate could work, but we could also make it sound more melodic by that's nice. And then we finish with second finger on the D string. That B flat is second finger. We don't have to move at all. Why don't you try that on its own? So it's E, D, 2, B flat, 4, be first finger. 2. Can you figure any of those notes out? So again, we don't have to move. It might be really fun to practice this alone before I give away all the secrets to try to figure out how the piece goes. These notes are under your fingers, and if you use your ears very carefully, you could find those notes without me having to give them to you one by one. But let's review the first 4 measures, and then I will leave the rest for you to practice before I give it away next time. So this will be 1, 1, 4. Again, but softer. Then slurring, 1, 2, 4, 2, ready, go. And then 1, 4, 1, 2. See if you can figure out those notes. Those are on the D string and the A string, and they're in the same hand position. If you watch closely, you can probably guess which notes I'm playing by just looking at my fingers. But give that a try on your own. Remember, practicing pizzicato is always good to make sure you have that ring in between the notes. If you're ever lost, just go back and start at the beginning where I play this piece for you all the way through, and you can start fresh from there. Let me know if you have any questions for now. We'll be doing more of these later. Happy practicing.